Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again. Today we are doing a discography ranking. It's been a while since I've done a ranking, but I'm going to get back into it this year. I'll probably do one band's discography ranking at least every month, maybe even more frequently than that. But yeah, you can look forward to a lot of rankings upcoming throughout the year. And today, to kick it off, we are going to be talking about a band that I feel is severely underrated and is not well enough known, and that is Obtained Enslavement. So if you've not heard this band before, they are from Norway. They were around in the 90s, symphonic black metal, although they've gone a few different directions over the course of their career, but their most well-known albums were in the symphonic black metal style. Basically around throughout the 90s, but then disbanded after their last album was released in 2000. They've only released 4 albums, so this isn't going to be a super lengthy discography ranking, but I just felt like doing this ranking today because I wanted to talk about this truly excellent band. They are probably most well known for their vocalist Pest, who of course is probably more well known for being in Gorgoroth at different times throughout his career and throughout their discography. But here, yeah, his vocals are really the shining star. Just really top-notch, aggressive, hateful vocals like only Pest can do. And yeah, I'm just going to run through all 4 albums from my least favorite down to my favorite. And let's see what order I'm going to put them in. As usual, love to get your opinions down below. Let me know what your favorite albums by this band are. And if you haven't heard them before, go check out all these albums. Okay, so kicking it off in 4th, my least favorite Obtained Enslavement album is their last album from the year 2000, The Shepherd and the Hounds of Hell. So compared to their other albums, this one did see them go in quite a different direction. It started incorporating in a lot more clean vocals. It still has the harsh vocals by Pest as well, but even the clean vocals are pretty well done. I don't want to say it's a negative. It's just a different style than what they had done before. This almost has a more like melodic and epic nature to the album as a whole. I'm putting this in last. I don't think it's quite on par with the rest of their discography, but this album is still pretty good. I would say, like, if you've never heard the band before, don't start with this album because it may not be a fair representation of what some of their other albums are all about, but this is still definitely worth checking out. And, like, I applaud them for doing something different. You don't just need to do the same album over and over and over again. And here they really shifted their direction and tried something different. While I personally don't like it as much as their other material, it is still very good. And yeah, like I said, applaud them for trying something different here. If I had to pick favorite songs, Lucifer's Lament is pretty awesome. Stepping Over Angels has a great riff in there as well. So like all in all, this is still a pretty good album. I don't put it on the level as their other 3, but nonetheless, still worth checking out. All right, up next in 3rd place, I am going all the way back to their debut from 1994, Centuries of Sorrow. So this one started out their career in a much more raw and darker black metal style than what would follow. It still retains that great sense of melody that the band is kind of known for, but this is so full of sorrow while still being really aggressive. This is so melancholic and just a hateful atmosphere throughout. This even has like a bit of a death metal influence in some of the riffs. While there are keys on here, I wouldn't necessarily call this a symphonic black metal album. It's more used in the background, not nearly as prominent as what would follow on the subsequent albums, but this is just great, like raw black metal. It's got pummeling drums. Pest's vocals are insanely good here, as always, but yeah, it really stands out. And just the riffs here are so melancholic, and it just has this overall like dark, hateful vibe that it just draws you in and sucks you into the atmosphere. Like I said, this is a lot different than the couple albums that would follow it, but this is still, I would consider, a very overlooked gem of early 90s black metal from Norway. It's got that typical fuzzy guitar tone. The production is a bit muddier than what would follow, but it really suits this style of black metal that kind of still had those hints of death metal in there. And like, yeah, all in all, very solid album. Could have even put this higher than 3rd, but I slightly lean towards the other 2 that I haven't talked about yet. If I had to pick favorite songs here, Dark Holiness is awesome. Unblessed as well is a great track. all in all, very awesome album, good introduction to the band, even though it's not quite the same style as what would follow. But yeah, solid album in third place. All right, up next in second place, I'm going with their third album, which is from 1998, titled Soul Blight. So this one, I haven't talked about the sophomore album yet. Spoiler alert, that's going to be in number 1, which there's only 4 albums. But this continues the style from the sophomore album that I'll talk about shortly. But this one, compared to that album, I found this one a little more guitar-oriented than the previous album. It still brings in like classical keys and synth and piano that add atmosphere and just adds overall emotion to the compositions. But maybe the keys aren't as in your face and prominent as on the previous album. I do lean towards the previous album a little bit more, but this isn't too far off. This is still just full of really well-composed songs. Like, yeah, the keys are pushed more to the background for atmosphere, but it still adds an extra element to it to just really make this symphonic black metal masterpiece in just the Obtained Enslavement style. Pest's vocals, once again, are just top-notch, top-tier vocals. And yeah, this whole album slays. Like, this is a super underrated album. I know the album I haven't talked about yet is probably their most well-known album, and that's my favorite album as well. But this one doesn't really get the same recognition, and it should. It is a very awesome album. Favorite tracks here, The Dark Night of Souls, Nightbreed is amazing. Like, all in all, amazing album in second place. Sorry. And that just leaves one. I've dropped enough hints here. Their sophomore album from 1997, aptly titled Witchcraft. I did a full, 25th year anniversary review of this last year, or yeah, whenever that was. But yeah, this is an all-time masterpiece of symphonic black metal. In my opinion, one of the best symphonic black metal albums ever made. Compared to the debut, this just went in a completely different direction, dialed up the symphonics. The songwriting here is so complex and intricate. It's just got layers of melody and harmony interwoven, and you can hear each instrument kind of doing its own thing. It all blends together, but the way that they interplay off each other and almost writing like their own parts, but still making it cohesive. It's just really interesting how they interweave all of this stuff. Like, there's layers of complexity here, and it really adds this classical flavor with the keys and piano here that a lot of other symphonic black metal bands don't necessarily have this level of skill on the keys, but it really shines through here. Another thing that stands out here is that there's not much repetition in these songs. Like, there's not a riff that maybe sticks throughout the whole song. They'll play a riff, it's awesome, and then they just move on to the next thing. So it's maybe takes a while to fully grasp this album. If you listen to it once, it may not stand out as much as I'm saying it is, as good as it is, but spend some time with it and you will uncover all these intricacies, and it's just so well done. Once again, have to applaud Pest's vocals, one of the best in the game. Really awesome stuff. It's got just hateful speech perfected through black metal vocals, but while it's got this hateful vibe, it's still got this beautiful atmosphere as well, and so these things happen simultaneously, and it's just beautiful to behold. Like, this is an absolute majestic masterpiece of black metal. It's triumphant, and it's just so well done. Like I mentioned before on Soul Blight album, compared to this, here the keys and piano, synth are all kind of at the forefront of these compositions, and it's just very uniquely performed. It really gives it a unique touch. Amazing album from front to back. Favorite tracks here, Veils of Winter Sorrow, the title track, Witchcraft, when all of a sudden Pest is just like, for this is the hymn of evil. It just fucking puts a smile on my face. Goddamn amazing stuff. Like I said, one of my favorite symphonic black metal albums ever, and my favorite Obtained Enslavement album. So, like I said, only 4 albums. This was not a long discography ranking to do, but I've been wanting to do this one for a while. Figured it's a good way to kick off the year with some black metal. Can look forward to a ton more rankings coming up. It's not all going to be black metal. There's a lot of bands I still want to tackle, so we'll see what's coming up. I'll probably take some votes too in the near future to see what you viewers want to see. But until next time, Hammerheart Metal Reviews out.